You are now listening to Obtain, Achieve, Thrive, Hustle with Metro. Come take the oath.
Yes, sir. It's your boy, METRONORTH, a.k.a. Robert Downey Jr., a.k.a. El Megalodon. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Megalodon, you heard? It's been a while. It's been over a month since I dropped the last episode of O.A.T.H, you know what I'm saying? But like always, back with another episode of Obtain, Achieve, Thrive, and Hustle, also known as O.A.T.H. You feel me? Got a few updates because it has been a while since we dropped the episode of O.A.T.H on y'all. So in the break that I took from doing this, like I said on the previous episode, I am working on Paradise City 2. Shit about to be crazy. Like, I'm trying to roll out the first single for that. Got a couple of records already done. Oh, yeah. Just because I'm not dropping a podcast, like I said I would consistently, doesn't mean I'm not working on other things. You feel me? But I also took the time away from doing this because real shit, I had to do Reentry, right? Now, people will say, Reentry? Fuck you doing Reentry for? You been home about 7, damn near 8 years. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said before, life is life, and you know what I'm saying? And just because I do all of the content and the music and everything, that don't mean that I'm making a substantial amount of money off of this shit to not have a 9 to 5. And I need a 9 to 5 because rent due every first of the month, you heard? And, you know, just other situations, car trouble and shit like that. I'm a regular person. But, you know, shit'll get better, you know what I mean? I've just been really just chilling, taking that Reentry. I spent 20 days in that Reentry shit. And I went and got my OSHA 30, too. So, you know what I mean? You can never go wrong with getting these, picking these tools up and these certifications and shit. So you could be a better candidate of finding a job. Because when you got 3 felonies, and you went away during your prime years from 19 to 25 and you ain't really get no training, no certification, you don't have a college education, you barely got a high school education, they ain't fucking with you. You know what I mean? A lot of people should stop at, I got felonies. And once you got a felony, these jobs ain't hiring you. They won't even let you really work at a place where you don't even got to deal with people. They don't want, unless you train, forklift certification, CDL, OSHA 30, 40, whatever, you need these certifications. So that's what I've been up to. Also, now, I hate when this happens, when I say something on the record and things change. That's why I kind of try not to do that. But we bringing back Social Sundayz. Me and Humble been speaking, but I also said in the past that, you know, me and Humble been trying to figure something out. I didn't say that, you know, Social Sundayz was done for good and the Lift podcast was done for good. I just said it's done for that moment. So we've been talking and we've been trying to really figure out what's going on and how can we get everything back in motion and in production. And it was really what was stopping us from doing the pod was it was basically us just trying to find a space of our own. The space we were using prior to do the podcast, it was owned by somebody else, and we had kind of a partnership, like some type of unwritten agreement, like we have these days reserved for us and shit like that. But it just at the end of the day, it stopped working. You know, communication was horrible, situations was getting kind of tense, so it was like, all right, fuck it, we out. But once we left that situation, it was like, damn, how we gonna do the production now? So, you know, I spent a while looking, and then that's when we decided, all right, we're gonna fall back for now. A couple of other things happened, but, you know, now we did find a little situation that we can utilize for right now, and we're gonna try to bring back for season 3. But that was really what was holding us up, just trying to find a space and how we were gonna do this. We do need to get a few more pieces of equipment to get our production perfect. You know, we already got cameras and shit like that, lighting. We just need a few more things and shit gonna be on a high level. You know, I'm trying to take this shit with Humble to Drink Champs level, $1 million worth of game level. Not necessarily trying to be like them, but we want that quality. You feel me? We could drop 1,000 episodes of Social Sundays, but it ain't gonna mean shit if the quality is horrible. You know what I'm saying? It's quality over quantity with me. Shit, we could do about 10 podcasts, and if the quality is HD, I'm gonna push that motherfucker in. If the right eye see it, who knows what could happen. But any goddamn way, that was the reason why we was kind of held up with Social Sundays and was kind of teeter-tottering on whether we were going to cancel it, scrap it altogether, or just take a break. And luckily, we just took a break, and now we about to be back. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I was taking this reentry shit, and I took this reentry program when I first came home. And a lot of people I told I was in reentry. They're like, man, you been home for a minute. Why you need to be in a reentry? But I'm like, yo, it's job training. Like I said, like life be life and rent due. Niggas need to have money in their pocket. Niggas need to be, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's fucked up right now. Everybody be going through shit. It's just people don't show you that through social media. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they even tell you that in real life. Somebody be struggling like a motherfucker and won't tell you. But I needed it. I didn't realize I needed it, but I went up there. You know, I signed up for the program. It was a 20-day program, and they teach you how to, you know, do your resume, how to conduct yourself in an interview. Basically, make yourself as an individual. Basically, make you see yourself as a brand, right? Shout out to the my man Don that's up in that program. Like he really put me on to something. He's like, when you go into an interview, you're basically pitching yourself like as a brand. You need to be thinking of yourself as a brand. You want your brand to stand out. You want to intrigue people. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely want to be a clean cut person. You're going to want to know how to speak. You're going to want to, you know, make sure you have shit you could bring to the table. If not on display, have a good way of elaborating what you can bring to the table. Like, what's your skill, right? My skill is, shit, I could be a videographer, I could be a photographer, I could be a artist, I could be a director, producer, editor, everything. I can interview people, I know how to speak. So it's like, my skills are part of my brand, right? Because your skills is what you can do. What are you good at? Like, what are your strong, hard skills that you have that can make somebody go, damn, I could use that. I could hire this person, or shit, I could use this in my company. Like, come fuck with me. And I believe there's a difference between what is your skill and what you have to offer. Because you can have the skills, that's something to offer too. But something you have to offer is like, it's a part of your personality, basically. Like, damn, this person is an easy person to talk to. They know how to talk to where it's persuasive. They know how to get sales. They know how to, you know what I mean? They know how to get somebody intrigued about what they're talking about. I feel like what I have to offer is a good personality, a good attention to detail, and a fucking overall creative mind. I could think of a lot of things, and it'll work. You feel me? A lot of people got ideas, and they just have that idea. They don't know how to get it from the thought to being in motion to actually establishing it and shit like that. And Social Sundayz is one of the things what I came up in my mind with the help of Humble, and bam, look, we about to be in 3 seasons. So figure out what it is you bring to the table. You feel me? What you have to offer and shit like that. Because especially in the podcast game, you gotta have a good eye for detail. You gotta pay good attention to the details and know how, if you have an idea, know how you're gonna get from just the thought of it to how we gonna gain the money, how we gonna get the money to get this shit on the road, because everything costs money. And then once it's on the road, how we gonna drive this shit to success? You gotta do that, because that's what I'm doing. I don't just go, oh, we should do this, and then expect, the people I'm involved with to figure everything else out. Nah, I try to actually think from beginning to the end of everything. You gotta bring something to the table. And that shit goes for literally anything too. Nowadays, that shit go for friendship, you heard? But another thing about the branding, networking and the relationships you have. One thing I learned in that reentry is everybody you know, every relationship you have is a part of your network, right? Because you know, average person know a good amount of people, probably like over 100 people maybe. You talk to a lot of people on a regular basis. I don't know the numbers and shit, but I know I speak to at least 40 people, maybe 50 a week. And that's like through social media, text, phone calls, or even face to face when I'm out and about. These relationships I have with these people, those people could potentially open a door for me to getting something. The reason why I went to reentry is because somebody basically referred me to them because they knew that I was, looking for work. And they said, you know what, go down there. Bam, I got there. Lady knew who I was. She knew that I was coming. And then 2 days later, I'm in the program, right? And the program was already about to start to kick off. I would have had to wait until 2025 to get in reentry. But because of the relationship I have with these people, they said, you know what? Let's get him in there. Bada boom, bada bing, bam. I did the 20 days, got my OSHA 30, about to get my certificate and all of that good shit. And I'm here. Now I'm a level up from where I was at last month when I was saying life was life and rent doing all that shit. Now I'm a little bit closer. They did say this one thing in there though that I was like, yeah, it was like every no brings you closer to a yes. I was like, yeah, I bet. My nose be like nose, nigga, like nah. And that nah and that no is like, I want you to go home and be depressed. No, nigga. That's how I be feeling though. You know what I mean? And that's me. They told me, you need to get out of that. Like, you don't have that self-doubt. But I'm like, yeah, all right. But anyways, back to networking and relationships. Every relationship that you have with somebody could be a potential door opening for you if you just reach out and speak. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to looking for a job, you know somebody call you up or you call somebody up and y'all bullshit on the phone all day, instead of just doing that shit for like an hour and a half, be like, yo, your job hiring? Hey, yo, da 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 da. Even when it comes to references and shit like that, I know a lot of professionals, right? And I never thought once in my mind, let me put these people down on the job application for references, because I just never thought of that. Like, I never thought, oh, this person, he not related to me, but he knows me. He knows the skills that I have. You know what I mean? It has to be somebody that actually knows you. You can't just put, well, I know the motherfucker down at the grocery store and shit. I'm gonna put him down as a reference, and then, you know what I'm saying? You can't do shit like that. It gotta be somebody who's like really like a professional, or, as an adult, you know who's a good reference and who's not. You feel what I'm saying? But every relationship that you have with somebody is a potential network of opportunities. Like, for me, my relationship with Mike Lasky, that was probably the illest networking, because he helped me prep and get ready for this shit that I'm doing now. Like, I always give him credit. Like, he the reason why I'm in this shit. He the reason why I even got interested in even doing a journalism and podcasting and interviews and content, period. Because I would have just been like, y'all, I'm a rapper. Like, even though I still be like, y'all, I'm a rapper, and I rarely refer to myself as a content creator. But I'm like, the relationship I had with him, which goes back 18 years, and that's a long ass time. And then in the, let's say, 15th year I know him, he's like, yo, I got an opportunity for you. Come with me over here and let's take this ride together. And I, luckily I wasn't big headed and like, nah, fuck out of here. I was like, all right, let's go. Let's get it. And now I'm here. So take advantage of these relationships you have, especially if you have relationships with people who are in a good space and are actually professional and they carry themselves as a brand in a great way. Take advantage of that shit and network every chance you get. When you go outside, you go to them clubs, you need to be networking, especially if you're a rapper. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people out here, I feel like it'd be more collaborations if people seen each other in person and networked and really got to get each other's vibe instead of just watching somebody on the internet and being like, oh, this nigga think he better than everybody. Because how you're perceived on the internet is different than how people perceive you when you actually are in front of them and they see how you actually are. Your personality is in front of them and vivid and clear enough for them to, come up with the idea that you aren't an asshole. You just look like an asshole on the internet, probably. But yeah, you got to take advantage of these relationships you have. Everybody is a resource for you. Everybody. And then this kind of ties into the networking relationship is mentors. Like mentorship is something that I had since I was a kid. I look at my cousins and my brother whom did radio produce beats and did all of this shit, photography, everything that I do today. I seen all of my OGs do. I seen all of my OGs do growing up. And I look at them like these were my mentors. And I look back like what they were doing, they didn't have the internet and the access to the resources that I have today. They were doing this shit 02, 03, 04, some of them doing in the 90s. You know what I mean? And then I look at it now like I'm doing everything they were doing with all the advantages that today's generation has. And I'm able to do this shit on a major level to where they see it. You know what I'm saying? They see it. We might not be like all extra sentimental, like, yo, man, thank you. But real recognize real. I feel like they know, damn, he picked this up from me. Oh, he picked that up from me. Oh, yeah, he got this from the time we did this. I seen all of my mentors doing that shit. If you don't have a mentor, find you one. Because having a mentor would definitely help you. Especially when it comes to building yourself as a brand. Because, and let's just say this. A mentor doesn't have to be somebody that's a millionaire or super successful. It could be, man, listen, it could be somebody who's in the same position as you, but you can learn something from them. Y'all could be building together. You feel what I'm saying? I would like look at my brother, right? When he was doing music, he did an album with Husky Entertainment, right? That's UConn's basically media label. And I remember like watching him, picking up the box of CDs, because this is like 03, 04, maybe even 05 if I'm not mistaken. And I remember seeing like their marketing strategy. So he did the album with them, which was like a compilation of a bunch of students that was going to UConn at the time. And then he dropped a EP, right? And the EP and the cover, he did like the Biggie duets. He had him on the cover with the crown. Like shit was fire, right? Little 2-single EP. So I'm looking at all this shit and I'm like, bruh, let me retain this. As a kid, I'm like, let me retain this. I'm like 12, 11, 13. Let me retain this. And then my cousin Tate, he making crazy beats. He making Justice League style beats before I even knew who Justice League was as producers. He making these crazy samples. And then he got into photography for a little bit, and I was modeling for him with the Supreme Imagery Company. And then I'm just watching all my cousins and shit do shit. Even when my brother was up at UConn doing a radio station, and I did the radio station with him. I think it was like WHUS or some shit like that, right? College station. I believe they call it pirate radio. I don't know. But these were my mentors growing up. So I picked up all of these things from them and was like, also spending a lot of time with them. So I'm seeing their personalities. I'm seeing them, and I'm seeing them as a brand. I just don't know this now because I know what I know now. This is what it was that I was witnessing. So it's like I'm doing all of this shit, retaining all of this information and these strategies that they were using back then, and I apply them to now. I just brush up on them and just update them to where those same things that they were doing back then could apply to the game now. You feel me? When I released the demo EP and life change and shit like that, my marketing strategies and all of that, like they not the best because I'm still learning as I go along. But when you see me doing those promos and everything, like when I had the Reverend X clip, and then once the clip ends, the screen swipes, and then the album cover pops up, like shit like that. I was just taking all of that from what I used to see back in the day. So get you a mentor. And if you can't find a mentor, man, just network and you'll eventually find one. Everything ties into each other, man. Because what I really want to see is everybody succeed. Everybody, get to a level where niggas ain't struggling no more. Niggas ain't gotta sit here and be like, damn, how I'ma pay rent? How I'ma feed my daughter? Cause that's, what Biggie said, being broke in 30 give a nigga the chills. This niggas that's 34 and broke right now. You dig what I'm saying? But yeah. Basically my message is, when it comes to you trying to either find a job or start your own business, or just get into a business to where you can be a part of something, you have to carry yourself like a brand, because you are a brand. As an individual, you are a brand. From what your skills are, from hard skills to soft skills. If you don't know what that means, Google it. You know what I'm saying? What you got to offer other than your skills, your personality. You got to stand out. You got to offer something. You know what I mean? Networking and relationships, like, just use the people you have around you in a good way, not in a bad way. Not like some people we know that have used me in the past just for some fucking clout and all that. Try not to get, crazy on here, but and if you can, find a mentor. And in order to find a mentor, you got to network and build these relationships with people, because you never know. You know what I mean? But that was basically what I was learning. Well, some of the stuff I was learning in that reentry shit, man. Like, shout out to the workplace out here in CT, because I wouldn't have had the outlook that I have now if I didn't go there. Shout out to the shorty Shanice and Nia and all of them who was also helping me up there, because for some reason when I went up there, they singled me out. Like, they was pulling me to the side after the group and telling me like, yo, you gotta update your resume, because I ain't updated my resume since like 2020. So they like, you need to do this. So it's like, I could feel that they want to see me do great things, and if they can, they will help. I just gotta be willing to accept that help and accept the things that they say that I need to change or that I need to start doing, because they in a situation that's great. And everybody in every entry, they've all been in trouble with the law. Some of them even did time. And then you look at them and you will never even think that they've ever even been in trouble or in prison. But everybody there, I feel like they built this life for themselves by using that branding shit. Like, because these people, they really want to see people succeed, because they were in the same position that we were in, the people who were in the program were in, should I say. So shout out to everybody at the workplace, because they definitely looked out. Yeah, but that was really what I learned over there. But man, other fucking news though. Dirk, Lil Dirk. Now, I've been listening to this Little Dirk situation and watching what's going on and what's transpiring. My number one question has been, how can they link you directly to all this shit, right? And if you've been under a fucking rock, Lil Durk been picked up, um, in an indictment for basically a murder for hire. He was out here. They said allegedly he was out here putting money on niggas' heads or some shit like that. But anyways, I was like reading up, and they were saying, they got, you know, cell phone records or some shit, like where it was just crimes were linked directly to him. And I'm like, bro, if you the main one, who do you have around you that's so reckless that will book flights in your name, call your direct line, talk about crazy shit, message you saying crazy. Like I just don't understand. Like you the man, you the one. People should be protecting you at all costs. Cause if he gets smoked, if he get fried for this shit, you know how many people's well gonna dry up. Cause to be honest, I don't know anybody else on OTF that's dropping music that's like on the radio and shit. I don't know anybody else. I only see Lil Durk. I know he has other artists on there, but I haven't heard anything from them since No Tune Dirt. Like real shit. So I don't know, man. Hopefully, I don't want to see any of these dudes in prison or in the feds or anything like that because they create opportunities, they create jobs, they take care of people, they take care of their families and shit. And it's like, man, listen, these police, they don't give a fuck about that. If they can get you off the streets for wiping your ass sideways, they will. Especially when you young and black and you had a swagger like how we have as young black men in today's world. Like I don't think there's any other generation that's like us. And moving forward, all the generations is gonna be like us on steroids. Like the '90s babies and shit. Like in the '80s babies, we do that shit different to where we grew up with the internet and we grew up with these advantages that the people before us couldn't have. So now you getting millions and billions of dollars and you can move a certain way and start businesses and create jobs on a multitude of none other, really, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully he can get out of this situation because, man, listen, you see the shit Thug just went through. I think it was like, what, 2 years or some shit like that he was locked up just for him to fucking get out. And they got him under these stipulations that are like crazy. Like, yo, you banned from Metro Atlanta and, you know what I mean? He can't really have contact with other people except for Gunna and his brother and them and shit like that. And I'm just like, bruh, it's a win for his family, his kids, his moms and shit like that. But for him, it's like, how you gonna be able to move? How you really gonna be able to be, great like how you once were prior to you getting in this situation if they're putting all these stipulations on you? Because a lot of people were happy, oh yeah, he came off, but it's like, nah, he really didn't. Because any little thing could send him back. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people understand. Them stipulations are going to prevent him from going to award shows. And if he does, get to go, it's gonna be under like strict fucking rules and shit like that. So it's like not only are you under these strong ass stipulations, but then if you get a privilege to do something, you under strong ass rules where you can't do nothing. So it's like it's a win for his family, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day is his family and shit like that. But it's like, bruh, them stipulations is crazy, and I understand how he feel because I was under crazy stipulations at one point, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I know I was happy to be home though. I was, man, listen, I was like, shit. Oh, I can't be outside after 6 or some shit like that. No problem, nigga. I'll be in the crib playing Grand Theft Auto online or something. I don't give a fuck. But it's like when you are as famous as somebody like a Young Thug, people are gonna want to book you for interviews. People are gonna want you to pop out, do walkthroughs. You can't do none of this to go get those bags, unless you do like some Zoom or Skype and shit, and then you can't even talk about certain things after that. And then I was just watching like highlights of his trial and shit on YouTube a few nights ago, and I was like, this shit was a circus, bro. It's like they made like a mockery of the justice system in the most craziest way. Like they switched judges, they was trying to hold his lawyers in contempt and all this crazy shit. And I'm like, bruh, they will do anything to get us little niggas wrapped up and packed up off the streets. And I don't understand why people are still doing the dumb shit they do. For real. Stay away from me if you out here killing niggas and getting into fucking all types of crazy shit. Stay away from me, man. Listen, they already trying to get me for dumb shit. And I just be chilling. All I do is take care of my daughter. I be at home and I do podcasts. That's it. And I rap. And I don't even rap about anything crazy. I bring that pain and that love and all of that good shit, you heard? But anyways, R.I.P to DJ Clark Kent. Like, that shit crazy. A lot of you young niggas ain't gonna know who DJ Clark Kent is. But he produced, oh man, let me see if I can think off the head. Mad shit for like Jay-Z, right? Now I'm gonna say some old shit. In my lifetime, right? Jay-Z, he produced that. Conspiracy, Junior Mafia. Damn, let me think. He produced a lot of shit for Reasonable Doubt too. Jay-Z's album, you heard? Brooklyn's Finest, Coming of Age, Cashmere Thoughts. Listen, man, I could do this a lot. You heard? I could do this. Because I was a big fan of DJ Clark Kent, man. A lot of people my age, they not really too familiar with who he is, but they know his music. He even did, what's that one joint? He produced the Shaquille O'Neal joint. I might have to Google that. I forget what the Shaquille O'Neal joint. But it was off of I think it was called 48 at the Buzzer or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, rest in peace to him, man. Like, he was he was a super fly. He was a super dope fly nigga, bro. I remember he was in Lottery Ticket with Bow Wow. And when Bow Wow was working at Foot Locker and shit, he had walked up and they had like these Uptowns that was in like a glass case. And Bow Wow was like, I'm gonna get them shits. And them shits had like ostrich skin. They was stitched up. They was like kind of like some Virgil Uptowns before Virgil was like a big Uptown collab person. And he was like, yo, these are the Clark Kent Uptowns. And he was like going into detail of each shoe that had a piece on that one shoe. Like, yo, R.I.P. DJ Clark Kent, yo, real talk, man. He was a original legend, like, when it comes to making beats. He goes super hard. And I feel like he was known mostly for working with, like, Puff and Big and shit like that, and Jay. I think one of my favorite joints he produced was, damn, what was that shit called, bro? I can't even think of it, bro. It's the Wyclef Jean shit. Oh, Ready or Not. Like, that beat, right? That Ready or Not beat. It take me to a place back when I was young. Like, you know, music, it resonates with you and it takes you back to certain times in your life. But that Ready or Not beat was so crazy. And then you don't really hear too many people remix it in the perfect way. I feel like the original version of that shit go crazy. But, yeah, man. R.I.P. my man Clark Kent, man. I was a big fan. Production was crazy. You heard? R.I.P. to the legend, man. But I'm going to end this shit now because I got a booming ass headache. Social Sundayz Season 3 coming this winter. I feel like this season should be better than any other season because we're going to be a little more stern with the production side of things because it was kind of getting out of hand in the first season and the second season, but we learning as we go along. So I'm going to keep y'all posted. And like always, it's been another episode of O.A.T.H, where we always going to attain, achieve, thrive, and we always gonna hustle.
You are now listening to Obtain, Achieve, Thrive, Hustle with Metro. Come take the oath.